Samba, and it's my second time here. Last year, I also attended the Togolese Independence Day celebration. And I would only say, like he mentioned earlier, I'm from Senegal, but he made a mistake. I'm Senegal or Togolese today. Because every time an African country is celebrating its independence, it is Africa that is celebrating independence. So today we are all Africans. And I'm so glad to be here. Just make sure before I leave, you give me my Togolese green card. But I'm very honored to be here. I am the director of the Mayor's Office on African Affairs. And let me say, je parle français. Comme tout le monde, I don't want to wake up Molière, so I have to speak in English because my French is so horrible. And before I go a little further, let me also acknowledge some of my colleagues. I have Kim McCall, who's my colleague at the Homeland Security. And I have a friend of mine, Dr. Anta Saleh from Howard University, who's also present. Fatimata from Voice of America, and I also have a couple of friends in the audience. I think I saw Theodore Gachu and some other friends in the community, so welcome and thank you for coming. As I mentioned, the office that I lead is the only office on African affairs at the municipal level in the entire United States. And not only that, the office is at the center of the city of where there is more Africans than anywhere else. The New York metropolitan area has the largest number of African immigrants at 212,000. This Washington metropolitan area, we have the second largest at 162,000 African immigrants. And the Office of African Affairs is the only one that is established to make sure that when Africans come to DC, they get the support that they need to have access to houses, jobs, education. If they do not speak English, our office is here to make sure that their inability to speak English does not become barriers to public safety, does not become barriers to finding jobs or education. And this all fits under our language access program that my colleague, my friend Theodore Gachu has been advocating for a long time. So please give him a round of applause. But let me just speak a little bit on a different topic. Because I saw here you have Let's Rise Together. And this is the reason why I came. And I know exactly how we can do that. Because for the longest time, as your president mentioned earlier, Victor and Sylvester, who's also a good friend of mine, as they all mentioned before I came, the African community, we are hurting ourselves. We are hurting ourselves, we are fighting against ourselves, we are competing against ourselves instead of partnering with each other. What I see a lot is, in one small community, there are 10,000 Senegalese associations of something. There are 1,600 Togolese associations of something. Why can't it just be one association of Togolese community? Why does it have to be 6 associations of Senegalese community? And everybody's going after the same resources. Everybody's competing against each other. Everybody's trying to fix the same problem with the same resources, duplicating efforts. We are wasting our time and we are hurting ourselves. We should be working together. So, when we say let's rise together, that's exactly what we need to do. So let me tell you how we can do this. The first thing we need to do in order for us to rise together, we have to come on time. We have to come on time. When we say 5 o'clock, let's come at 5 o'clock. If somebody's late, let's start. When they come, they catch up. So why do we need to call everybody at 5 o'clock to something and wait for somebody who we're not even sure they'll come? We are hurting ourselves. So if we come on time, we'll have more time to talk about whatever we need to talk about. That's why we need to come on time. We cannot rise together unless we are together. Right? We cannot rise together unless we are together. As your president mentioned earlier, why do we need to even ask, are you Togolese or Ghanaian? It should be enough to just be African is enough. If somebody says I'm from Africa, don't ask him which ethnic group you come from. Don't ask him which part of Ghana come from. If he's African or she's African, it's enough. It's enough. We don't need to go into the details about the language, the ethnicity. We are holding ourselves. And we cannot be together unless we love each other. Right? But we cannot love each other if we remain separated. The African community is too divided. It's too divided. We have so much talent, so much education, so much knowledge, but we are too divided. I always tell people the presentation that I go to, right? I'm inspired by Malcolm X talked about black nationalism. And all that means is supporting each other, supporting your community. In the African community, if you have $10 to spend, find an African store that has the product that you need. Spend your $10 there. So everybody goes and get rice. I'm sure there's an African store somewhere you can go and spend that $15 to buy rice in. So that store owner can take that money and reinvest in the African community. Right? I joke about it when I go to my presentation and I say, the African community, and I'm just joking about this, right? You go somewhere to a flea market and the Chinese clerk tells you something is $19.99, you will give him $20, you won't even wait for your penny, you just walk away. But if you go to the African store and they say $19.99, you think it's too much? Why shouldn't you be able to invest in your own community? So if you want to rise together, let's also spend money in our own community. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. The other thing we also need to think about is we have to be sure that we remain active in our community. We live in DC or Montgomery County or whichever city we live. We own a house there, so we have to pay property taxes. You work there, you pay your taxes. Your kids are going to school there. You have a store there, you're paying all of these taxes, but you should be involved in the decision-making process. There comes a time when everybody is called upon to share their ideas on what the budget should look like and how the city should spend their money on issues. But if the African community is not there, right, they will spend it everywhere else but your community. So you guys have to come, right, and support us when we talk about the budget process. Come and tell us what the problem is. Should we spend money on public safety? I don't know what the problem is unless you come tell me. Should we spend money on language access? You have to come be involved. But the African community, we tend to sit behind and let somebody else do the work. Like we always have, Timber is always present, right? And everybody, but nobody else is present. We have to make noise. We have to make noise. The biggest problem that I have is trying to change the mentality about the African community. This is why in my office last year, we launched the very first African Diaspora Coding Academy in the entire United States. Training Africans on how to develop mobile applications, how to develop websites so they can go and earn the skills to be able to have access to the middle class, have access to be able to compete and thrive like everybody else. Those are the main things we need to be focused on. And so there are a lot of Africans here. And so if we want to rise together, you guys have to be able to figure out either it's Montgomery County or DC or Orlando. You guys have to be able to get together as one African community, not just as Togolese people, but as African people, and be able to go and advocate your lawmakers, ask them to keep them accountable on the money you are paying in taxes. Where is it going? Is it coming to your community? If not, then it should be coming to your community. But if nobody is doing it, then we all lose it. And I'll end with this, as somebody mentioned earlier, it's a lot of complaining. It's a lot of complaining. We should do this or we should do that. But somebody has to just get up and do it. And so we have to also think about our kids that are born and raised here. These guys are not Togolese, these guys are American. They're not going back to Togo, they grew up here. My daughter right there, she's 3, she's not Senegalese, she's American. Right? So I have a duty as a father to make sure that her identity, her culture is not lost within the bigger identity and the bigger culture. But if I don't go and say it, we all lose out. So let me just encourage everybody to think really carefully about some of the things we mentioned here today. We've been saying it for the longest time ever. Africans need to get, since Kwame Nkrumah we've been saying this thing. This is now 2016. We are still divided. And if we keep going this way, we'll still be divided. And I hope that's not the case. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup pour l'intervention. Et nous allons continuer. Nous avons toujours des amis du Togo qui sont venus, qui sont dans la salle ici. Nous allons leur donner quelques 2 minutes pour qu'ils viennent vous saluer, pour dire un mot. So we still, you know, a lot of friends here tonight has been very hard for me to manage because they have so many important things to share with us.